Mayans versus Malians war on Arabia.
Ooh, I'm into it. In the blue towards the north of the map, we do, of course, have, let's put the scores on for this one as well, Secret TaToH playing as the Mayans.
Yeah, and the other, I'm not used to the finger point for the transition.
I think we'll just do it for the first one, then we'll get it. But I believe in you.
Playing as the Malians on the other side of the map, they're actually a decent ways apart as well, which is important in this matchup. Is TheMax. TheMax, looking at his map, he's got 2 of his secondary golds in an exposed position, as well as 1 of his stones, but his main gold and his main stone are both in the back, and he's got some wood lines accessible, and especially in this matchup, his berries are pretty safe. You'll see men-at-arms a lot, so having the berry safe is a very big deal.
And then looking over towards TaToH as well, he does have a rather open front gold here towards the front of his base, as you could possibly imagine. Then he has a stone and an extra gold there as well. Was lucky enough, though, that he did get himself a back gold in the generation here. But again, just super, super open in terms of what he's got to work with here. A couple of Ibex towards the back as well. Boar in the back, and the boar's actually in quite a good situation here as well. Not that boars can be stolen by scouts in this map, but just always nice to have them in the back, and then berries towards the front as well. I will say he's got this one big, really open section in comparison to the Max.
And with the stone there, with the 2 golds there, especially the main gold being there, like even his gold in the back, as you said, like it isn't really in the back. Like it's that huge open area of the map that he's gonna have to find some way to secure against the pressure from the Max. And a lot of the times the Malians are going to go for that early pressure, like men-at-arms into archers. And if you have an open map, that can be really, really tough to stop a lot of the time.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping we do see that really kind of aggressive opening from the Max, because he does take a little bit to kind of feel out his opponent, make sure he's making the right moves, and he can play quite reserved. But when he just plays aggressive, confidently, this is when he's at his peak. So I'm really hoping we get into this too quickly, and he doesn't worry about it too much before it just gets to game, you know, 1, 2, and then he goes, all right, I'm kind of in the zone now. So hopefully we see that from the beginning.
Yeah, I feel like Max's weakness is also weirdly his strength. Like he goes for those pushes that are overly aggressive.
Yes.
Because he can kind of read the position that his enemy's in, but sometimes he gets a bit too aggressive. And he doesn't like stop in the middle of the push and say, oh, I need to boom behind this. I need to add eco. I need to play safe and wall my own base, you know? Although I was very impressed with the series with him against Yo. His scouting and his use of outposts was very impressive to me. He was playing he was very tournament ready, I'd say.
Yeah, he's a player that's very, very good at seeing the big picture. And then behind that as well, he's someone who's always prepared. He's the guy who's going through the maps. He's working out the builds. As you said the other day, you actually had a chance to speak with him. And he's working out these crazy builds or just optimizing things as best as possible. And because of that, it always shows in tournaments and how strong a player he is.
So we're going to switch to the POV scene. And the first POV we're going to switch to is TaToH. You can see his luring in the board. There's not too much for us to talk about on the main overlay, so we're going to let you take a look at what's required from a pro player in the early stages of the game. Obviously, TaToH is done scouting his base, so he's going to go over and try and find the Max. I think he's going in the right direction right now. We'll go to the Max's point of view, see what he's doing. Age of Cubes, of course. Just like his friend Villese.
100% efficiency. No more, no less.
It's just, I asked him, I said, how can you live with yourself? How can you look yourself in the mirror playing this mod? And he looked at me, he laughed, he's like, yeah, it took me about 2 weeks to get used to it. So I think he understands where we're coming from. When we're like, this isn't really Age of Empires, you know, but this is his style, and it doesn't give too huge of an advantage, but it's definitely the Finnish player's preference. So we'll come back to the game now.
It just makes things so easy to break down, and like we kind of saw with the Acacia-style maps as well, you can just see all the gaps in the trees so easily, which is just a really, really big win. And Lumber Camp coming up towards the back for Max as well, so splitting up that lumber in case of any raiding. But NAC, the reason I love it so much is we have direct access to the point of view.
Oh yeah, we can go, like, other than the official interview, you can go interview them while you're sitting on the couch watching the series. Because everyone except DauT is here watching all the series and paying attention to the players, right?
That's it. There's nothing but just this one big kind of happy family out there, all talking about Age, talking about what can be done better, and Man, the criticism can be rough, but at the same time, it's always so much love.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like TaToH is going for men-at-arms. He's got 2 on gold. He's got the barracks out already on the front of his base. You can see how he's attempting to wall in front of that gold. He really wants to secure that. He realizes the weaknesses within this map generation, and he's going to wall in front of that gold with his production buildings, with his houses, with a whole combination of houses, buildings, and palisade walls.
We do have the barracks on the way up for TheMax as well, kind of dropping down about that 50% towards Feudal, so pretty standard from him, I would say. Right now, let's hope we can get some damage in there for TaToH, make this drush worth it. We do have next to no walls from TheMax though, and it's relatively open. Every resource is quite close to the town center when it comes down to it, but he's still got the option to get in there, especially with the Eagle once we hit Feudal as well.
And I'm wondering what TheMax is doing, because this is quite... it seems a bit late for the barracks here, so we'll see. I didn't see how many he had on wood early.
I believe he did have the 3. I think I pointed that out. We had
and
he
doesn't have any on gold, so he's going scouts. Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering why that was so late. And actually, his scout was in the correct position. It was right in front of the barracks from TaToH, and I do believe that he saw those 3 militia coming across, and he's just going to follow them across the map. So he knows exactly what's coming. He's dropping a stable right now. And in response to this, you can see he's already quick-walled his wood villagers. And he's going to follow the trajectory of these units coming into his base. Try and mitigate the damage that they can do.
So it looks like we've got TaToH at the moment, trying to find that place that he can get in, really delay, because hopefully if he's good at what he does here, which we know that's how TaToH plays, at worst case scenario, he's really going to delay the scouts, make them pick off the militia before they can move out, so buy himself some time, especially with some very, very ambitious walls he's got coming out, we can see on the mini-map. Well, he's going to jump over and
that's the tournament style, right? Like, you got to... If you're not doing damage with the men-at-arms, you have to at least pose a threat with them, because you don't want those scouts immediately coming to your base. Ideally, you want those scouts to try and engage with the men-at-arms, and Max isn't falling for it at all. It looks like he's going to head out directly to TaToH's base, try and deny the walls, try and maybe delay the archer range from coming up, or pick a villager if you can.
TaToH doing a really good job to try and make this dangerous though. Did actually bring the spear forward as well, but like you said, TheMax has a great read on this. He's already moved across. He might delay that archery.
His walling is perfect near the TC too.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, he's actually delaying the archer range. Okay, this is what you want to see. It's not a huge deal, but it is annoying when this happens to you. And great micro around the spearman, not getting poked, only maybe once there in that engagement. And I think he's actually going to pick a villager.
Oh, that's beautiful. Gets around the quick walls as well.
He might pick 2.
What?
Oh, she quick-walled. She quick-walled. We couldn't see it behind the archer range, but she was building. Now he's going to delete that, and the spearmen are going to come forward. Meanwhile, TaToH's men-at-arm rush, Max walled perfectly. It was a perfect response to this.
Absolutely. The thing is, TaToH spent all these resources trying to get at least some kind of disruption. With a man-at-arms rush like that, or even a drush, you can't really expect to get any villages, but you're expecting to at least pull some idle time out of them, or at least keep those scouts back at base. But at the moment, TheMax, he just bailed straight over to TaToH, got the villager pick, delayed the archery range, and now he's got map control off the back of this as well.
Yeah, and he doesn't even, like, at this point, I think he realizes that TaToH has enough spears out that he can't really hit much into his economy without a backup unit like a skirmisher, which he's making plenty of. So he's going to bring the scouts back, and he's going to take this army out of position, so it's not bothering his eco anymore. And then he's going to push in with the scouts and the skirmishers as soon as he's comfortable at his own base again. And for TaToH, this is one thing that you never really want to see. You never want to see your men-at-arms coming back across the map to your base. Like,
they should go down in a blaze of glory at the worst.
Well, yeah, they're a rush where you get, like, you have like 30 seconds to a minute to do legitimate damage with them, right? So you never really want to see them coming back the other way. That being said, they will provide a nice support to the archers that TaToH has massed here. I still would probably favor Skirmisher Scout, although the Scouts, 2 of them are pretty weak.
Yeah, we'll keep the health bars up for a second here, just in case we do have an engagement. But like you said, TheMax reading this one absolutely perfect. By the time the spears were out in play enough to really deter the scouts, we did actually have the skirmishes, we had the archery range up. That's just been an absolutely brilliant read by TheMax.
And the walling was so good too. Like, you could see TaToH walled the whole side of his base. Max only walled where he needed to wall, and now he's going to go out and wall after he gets his military buildings up, after he gets all his resource techs in and everything. Not a wasted resource there.
And he has eyes on exactly where all of TaToH's military is as well, so very low likelihood that we'll actually get caught out with any of those villages as well.
Yeah, and this is a great cleanup from Max. He's going to lose a bit more HP. Yeah, I don't think it was really necessary to lose that scout, but he's kind of taking away the threat of this army. Obviously, it's going to be a bit more work to take these men-at-arms down, but I don't think they can do too much damage anymore.
Well, that's it, right? They served a really good purpose as just some bulk in front of the army there.
Yeah.
But for now, really, once the skirmishes are out in mass, or even a couple of skirmishes with some good micro is all it really takes to, not even good, just some micro to deal with a man-at-arm.
And Max has actually added 2 more scouts, I believe. So he's going to go forward with those, try and figure out what he can do. He saw the archery range from TaToH, and TaToH's actually adding in a few eagles to combat the skirm. So this is going to be a really interesting feudal war here. And TaToH's added a market. That's very interesting. Okay, so
well,
is he going to go into full eagles
as well?
Yeah.
So he's looking at committing into the eagles here as well.
Yeah. So you need a lot of gold for that, a lot of food for that, and it takes a lot of time to mass the feudal eagles, and you need the blacksmith upgrades too to make them effective.
Look, it's definitely a big play, but there's enough skirmishes on field, he will be able to deal with that. I guess the scouts are the biggest issue right now.
Yeah, if Max hadn't added those scouts, this would be such an easy fight for TaToH, but Max adding those 3 extra scouts now is just such a huge deal. He'll pick off the archers, the eagles can't engage yet before they get the upgrades and before he masses, and the archers aren't going to be able to do too much damage because of the skirmishers as well. And TaToH's forced to drop a defensive tower on that gold. He didn't have time to wall in front. The tower would have been unnecessary if he had. And Max has just put too much pressure on him now.
This is really kind of, it's one of those things where it sucks that Max can't really push forward into the tower too much.
I think he's done enough. Yeah, he's done enough. Because the tower is nice for defending. It means Max can't push in. But what it also means is when you go to Castle Age, you're not going to have that stone to drop the extra 2 TCs, right? So you're not going to have that boom option unless you're going to stone or unless you're using the market to buy extra stone. And obviously that's not super efficient.
Exactly. The tower's really good to have up from a defensive point of view. But as soon as you kind of look into exactly what that kind of means in terms of the commitment it takes to put it up.
And more archers. More archers being caught off guard. There is just, oh man. Every time TaToH sends out a straight archer, Max is there with the scouts. He's made 2 more scouts. He's made 5 extra scouts after that initial 3 scout rush.
Hey, if they're going to be worth it, which he's managed to get worth with every single scout at this point, you may as well keep adding them. One of the biggest traps people fall into is just building units because they've got the building for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they delay their Castle Age, but this, he's getting the worth from it.
Exactly, and I love how he switched into skirmishers. He only made so many. He's still making scouts. I love it so much. He's just piling the pressure on TaToH. And look at TaToH's response here. Like, you might not think that 3 houses is too big of a deal, but that's 90 wood, and that's 3 villagers that have been idled to defend against this this push here. And TaToH's got to be worried that Max is going to change direction and come in maybe against the palisade wall or against the front of his base.
You're absolutely right. Like, in games of this higher level where we've got some of the top players in the world hanging out on just about a LAN system here as well in terms of the lag, it makes things so hard for them to deal with. All these little things just add into the snowball effect of who gets to Castle Age first, who's going to be in a better position. So all of this pressure we're seeing from the Max, it's being efficient, it's getting things done. A lot of eagles starting to get out and play for TaToH though.
So we'll see. We'll switch to, I believe it's TaToH's point of view. Sorry, Max's point of view. We'll see what he's looking at. Obviously, just checking out the houses, building up his farm eco, building up his gold cube eco, as we would say. And then we'll see TaToH. I wonder where he's going with the eagles. If he's sending them somewhere. Yeah, he's heading across the map. Maybe he wants to loop back on the other side of the skirmishers. I did notice that he's used this time, Max has been attacking those houses to actually full wall his base all the way across. So he has probably 20% of the map walled, which is never a terrible thing.
That's it. He's got room to grow his economy behind this. If he wants to switch into more town centers, it means he's got a lot of safe room to build up in behind. And even then, the Max, even though he's just attacking these houses here, a lot of this is just keeps pulling. TaToH looks like he wants to go out, he wants to raid. He actually just can't get across the map because it's too much dangerous.
Pressure. Yeah, it's too much pressure. And Max is a master at that. He knows exactly when and how to apply pressure and how to make his opponents react to it. So these scouts are the only thing keeping TaToH from diving in here, and it looks like he is actually going to go for the full dive now. Max is going to get out of here at the moment. Both players on the way to Castle Age. TaToH is at 81%, Max is at 69%, nice. And I haven't seen exactly what TaToH is going to be going for in Castle Age. Probably another barracks and then Eagle spam.
The good news
he
is
can't
the
go for a
Max has a
boom.
read on it too. He's already actually gone up to Man-at-Arms.
Yeah.
He's seen all the Eagles that are out in play at the moment, so he's got an idea of what's going to happen. And he's already got 2 barracks up. He's just checking out his Man-at-Arms now. He's got his upgrades
too.
Oh yeah.
So like if you go into archers, they're going to be less effective, right? So it's just
I'll just show that off real quick. The plus armor on these bad boys.
They're very, very nice. And I think this is an acceptable... A lot of times people don't go into men-at-arms. They don't go into longswords to counter eagles because the longswords are just slow. You're going to be chasing the entire time. But if your base is full walled, and if you have a civ bonus like the Malians do for the men-at-arm line, then I think it might be worth it, to be honest.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things as well. The Max has been in a very commanding position here. As long as he can kind of force the engagements and where they are, it means the speed of the man-at-arms or even up to longswords isn't going to matter quite as much, just as long as he can dictate the pace of the battles. And look at this, we had TaToH kind of scoping around looking for somewhere to do damage, didn't find anything, so the Max has just pushed out across the map, and he's going to try and get TaToH to pull his army home. Yeah,
against these Castle Age Eagles, like, Max can basically wall behind any pressure. TaToH's going to need something to follow up, like Siege or something like that, to actually get into Max's base. It's interesting, too, that TaToH was on stone, so he's actually has enough stone to drop 2 TCs now. The second one is up, the third one's almost up now, and then he's probably going to go for a castle as well at some point to defend that forward gold, because that's such a risky position for him.
Looking at the Eagles over towards the Max, they're slowly managing to push in and actually might take down this Palisade gate if the Max doesn't decide to do anything about it, but there's the house drop.
He doesn't want any idle time. He's going to wait till the last second. Yeah, he's going to make TaToH... Well, that's the trick, right? You have to make TaToH commit to attacking the building and thinking that you're not paying attention, he's going to make it through. And then at the last second, you place some houses and suddenly he's wasted, 40 seconds attacking a Palisade gate.
Longsword's just looking for an engagement here with the Eagles as well, starting to get his ups behind that as well, which is really nice to see.
Oh, and a Mangonel coming out from TaToH. The market was almost down, but the Mangonel, I think, is going to chase away these longswords.
This will start buying TaToH that time he really needs right now. We had so much pressure from the Max, and if TaToH could just kind of hold this back with the Mangonel, both players going into more of that boomy style now, just a little bit of kind of looking for any damage they can do, but both players are fully walled at this stage. It makes things really hard for them.
Yeah, and I'm kind of... I was all on the Max bandwagon here at the beginning, but I'm getting a little bit worried because he hasn't dropped the 3rd TC yet. So TaToH's been on 3 TCs for a little bit here, and you can see that villager count climbing, and obviously we know the mines are an extremely dangerous civ, especially with their transitions. Sorry, it's late. They're just so smooth. I think the Malians might struggle a bit with that if their eco's not up to snuff.
So
he's holding the gate
open,
open,
a lot of long swords out right now. Needs to get in there to really do too
much.
much.
Hold the gate!
Oh,
Hodor! No! Oh, Hodor. How dare you? He couldn't hold it open, and now the longswords need to retreat. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't the greatest place to fight anyway with a Scorpion nuking your longswords from the distance, but I don't see what pressure he's going to be able to put on here. Now we see the problem generally with longswords against eagles. You're chasing the entire time.
Exactly, unless you're the one dictating that fight, really putting on the pressure and forcing them to actually
Or if you have a choke point that you need to... Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly it. We're just going to see these longswords wander, destroy some houses, more houses get built behind those houses.
Well, it is the correct play, right? You have to put pressure with them somewhere. You have to force TaToH to respond to
all these resources spent. They need to buy something, right?
And TaToH actually dropping a castle right in front of that main gold, like we said. That's just going to secure that area. We identified that at the very beginning. That's such an important area. And at some point, TaToH probably is going to either drop a TC out near that secondary gold or another castle as well. And the Eagles can't commit here. The Eagles can't fight that.
And this is where we start to worry about that mine transition you were talking about as well. The castle's already on its way up, so we can have those more expensive plumed archers brought onto the field. I think they'll stack up all right, though.
Okay, Max is coming forward with 2 villagers and 2 longswords. Forward siege workshop. See, this is what we were talking about with the Max pressure, right? This is the Max special right here, all right? $3.99 on the menu. it's a good it's a great deal because he puts this pressure on people in that mid to late castle age when people aren't expecting it, when they're expecting you to transition your eco into Imperial, and Max is being super aggressive with pushes like this. So we'll see what he decides to make. Probably a Mangonel coming out here, most likely. Also making some more skirmishers as well.
Alright, so the question is then, how do you try and make these longswords useful? Plumed Archers are already out in play. You said the Siege Workshops come down in the front, so he's looking to get a little bit more aggressive here, which is absolutely what we love about the Max. He is behind in terms of the villager count now as well, has a lot more military, but how much of that military do you think is actually going to be useful?
Well, it is going to be useful if he dictates the fights, like we were talking about, right? Like with the longswords, I think right now he's keeping them in reserve to support whatever siege he may make or whatever follow-up. But ideally, you probably want to be attacking somewhere and forcing TaToH to engage with you. You can see the skirmishers from him are in the north side now, waiting by that wall. So maybe the longswords are going to make their way up there and try and punch through into the Max's economy. I don't think he can do too much damage with them, but what he can do is pull the Eagles away and pull the Plumed Archers away from hitting his base.
And I think that's the biggest thing you could really hope for here, is just buy himself some extra time, try and pop up a little bit more behind it. But like you said, the Plumed Archers, they can just get away from the longswords so easily here, kite them along and just no losses and continue the fight.
So villager count getting fairly even now. I mean, it's 89 to 80 at the moment, so Max isn't too far behind. And you gotta remember all the idle time that, as we see probably a big Mangonel shot coming in.
Ooh.
That's a lot of damage. Flex tape isn't gonna fix that one. But a lot of that time from TaToH was spent being idle, making the castle, you know, building walls, etc. Because Max was applying so much pressure. So maybe Max has had the more efficient economy throughout the game.
Look, definitely possible. I think TaToH's done a great job of kind of holding everything and forcing, because the Max did invest so much into this military and he really hasn't got too much out of it, I would say. Forcing a little bit of idle time around here, but at the end of the day right now, we've got these Plumed Archers out, we've got the longswords in the base. The longsword's just going to get cleaned up so quickly now.
Well, you know, that Pierce armor.
Look, not as quickly as other longswords, I'll give you that.
And yeah, once again, the castle, second castle, gone up for TaToH, right where we said it was going to go, right in front of that secondary golden stone.
This is it. This is the place TaToH really needs to hold on to.
Yeah, exactly. It's such an important area of the map. And the Max, also realizing that, has placed a castle foundation on that hill. So he's probably going to be going up to Imperial Age. Right as I look at it, he's 36% of the way up to Imperial Age. So he's going to have the hill advantage. He's going to have a castle there, assuming it doesn't get denied. And he's probably going to take the early advantage in the Treb War. Now, what TaToH can do is go hit the Max's base, which he's doing right now with the Plumed Archers. He's heading across the map and going to try and find some picks. I think Max sees this. He has outposts. Just like that series against Yo, he's been on point with the outposts. So he could garrison early and maybe plan some walling action to delay this. Still, I don't know how he's going to counter the Plumed Archers.
That's the hardest bit right now. I guess all he can really hope for is if he comes back to his castle over here, get those trebuchets out and really make things difficult. So, like you were saying before, if the Max is just aggressive enough, TaToH won't be able to hit the base right now. The pops still aren't kind of high enough where he can kind of have that two fronts situation going on.
Yeah. And, oh man, there's a battering ram coming from TaToH. He knows that castle's there. I'm going to go to TaToH's point of view so we can see exactly what he's focusing on. He's looking for a hole with those Plumed Archers, and I think right now he's just focusing on exploring the map until he gets to Imperial Age. Gathering those extra resources, you can see he's going out for a relic right now, sniping some of Max's economy, and also going out to a neutral gold in the side. Max, on the other hand, trying to wall off against those plumes, collecting the green cubes. He realizes those plumes are a problem. That's a great spot there. I wouldn't have spotted that hole between those houses. That was a really, really great find.
TaToH's done a great job here of just making these plumed archers as worth it as possible, idling a lot of this eco behind everything. We've got the Max coming with a couple of skirms to try and clean this up, but right now these plumes can just kind of move on, keep hitting villages, keep doing whatever damage they can, and give TaToH that little bit of an earned break. He can mass up his army and then push out and deal with that castle really before Max has much of a chance to do anything.
Well, I mean, Max is winning the Treb war currently. I mean, he's got one Treb on the hill. He's got the skirmishers there so the plumes can't dive. And he's got some long swords there as well. A bunch of them are weak though. So
+5 armor though,
yeah,
man.
Plus five armor, baby. Yeah, exactly. But I don't think that +5 armor is gonna help against the unit that they're supposed to counter, the Eagle Warriors, right? But he's definitely. I think he's gonna take this castle down. I know. The hill bonus, TaToH doesn't have all the building techs, and it's going down. So TaToH's going to be exposed there. I don't think he can get the second one, though. And the main problem for the Max is TaToH's mobility at the moment. He can run around with the plumed archers, he can run around with the eagles, but saying that, Max is trying to trap him a little bit here with those plumes. He's flanking on one end. Okay, never mind. I was seeing a play unfold in my brain, and it's not going to happen.
Didn't get there, sadly.
Didn't quite get there.
But TaToH just trying to hold on to this front, just needs to be very, very careful not to lose these castles, because this is going to be his main, basically, source of army from this point with the plumed archers, unless we do see an Eagle Warrior switch. Behind that as well, he needs the Trebs to fight the Treb War, so if he kind of leaves this one a little bit too late, this is where he starts to have a lot of problems. He's got a great military count, 56 compared to the 37. He's in a great point in terms of his eco as well, 130 compared to only 103 of the Max.
Yep.
He just needs to hold on, and that's where I'm worried that the Max might just be so aggressive here, he may not have the chance.
And Mangonel coming forward. The Max has got to be worried about that. You might... Oh, TaToH's out of stone! I think TaToH's out of stone.
TaToH, yep, bang, on 0 right now.
Oh my goodness, the castle goes down.
Get out of there! Get out of there, Max! Abort, you're good!
the Trebs can target the Mangonel. They can target the other Treb from TaToH. Actually, the Rams are doing work against Max's Trebs. I don't know how they actually got in that close with all the longswords there. But now TaToH, 0 castles, so he can't produce plumed archers anymore. He can't get that unique tech for the Eagles anymore. And
No
actually, I think he might have another castle, because I see a plumed archer in the queue. Okay, he has a safe castle back in his base. I didn't see that one yet.
Down to a single castle, though, not exactly what you want as a mine player as well.
And exposed on that front side as well.
But he is starting to cut through a lot of the units here. It's been an expensive fight, but he is starting to finally take back this front. Just needs to find a way to deal with this castle, which is going to be the hard part.
Yeah, and I love the fact he went out to the neutral gold is so underrated, because his main gold is gone now. Only one tile there with 185 gold left, and the secondary gold is so exposed, so he needed separate options for that. And going out to that neutral gold in the far corner of the map is just, it's such an underrated play.
I agree, and the best thing behind the Max's castle right now, essentially this is keeping on to 2 of the neutral golds here.
Why isn't he on those?
He doesn't need them yet, man.
Where's his gold? Where's he taking gold right now? Like, I don't even see any place that he's taking gold. He doesn't need gold. He's just, yeah, I guess he's going skirms.
Well, that's it, right? He's just in a trash war at this stage with plumed archers, I guess.
What about the long swords? Come on, man.
Where's that armor? Come on, +5.
Yeah, where's that two-handed?
It's coming in now.
There you go. All right, so TaToH's kind of stabilized. He is walling the entire map in layers, stone walls. So he's just securing his position.
Getting
and
that buffer zone.
This is what's so dangerous about the Mayans, right? They can build such a powerful army with so little resources and just hold on and keep like slowly expanding their map control. And then you just, once you run out of resources, you just can't fight back. Another castle coming up from TaToH in that forward position. A little bit farther back this time, though. I think he learned it a little bit farther back. I think he learned his lesson.
It's a little bit further away. Just a couple of tiles from that hill make things a little bit harder. But it looks like we might lose another trebuchet here for TaToH as well.
Yeah.
Not what he wants in such minimal castle production. Getting some rams into the queue now as well. The Max just going absolutely ham on the skirmishes.
Yeah. And he's killing a lot of vills underneath that castle as well. But these plumed archer mass with the rams coming forward. I think TaToH is getting siege ram right now, which will be so devastating. And, you know, with all the talk about the Malian longswords and their melee armor, they can't stand up to plumed archers. They just melt.
Well, exactly. It's one of the things that helps. Is it going to make them a counter to plumed archers?
No,
Not at all.
Like maybe if you flank with double the numbers.
I still don't know if that classifies
maybe
as a
you'll
counter.
be good, but the siege rams are going to soak up fire from the skirms.
But look at this.
Plumed archers are going to deal with the longswords, and Max needs a different counter. He needs like onager or something, you know?
That's it. He needs something to be able to deal with this, and we've got siege rams on the town center now. TheMax having his eco shut down by these plumed archers. All that he needs to do is let the rest of these capped rams in, or siege rams at this stage, start spreading out these plumes. And I don't think TheMax has any defensive castles. He went aggressive with the castle he did have, and all this production is just going to get absolutely shaken.
Speaking of castles, though, I mean, TaToH's castle went down again. I think he was trying to place another one to the right-hand side, and Max already has a castle up there on the far right of the map, and his villagers are just dying in a line as they walk towards their death. So Max is trying to claim map control, but the main problem for him is that he cannot fight the plumes. He needs something. He needs onager or some sort of better meat shield or something to deal with them.
TaToH's just got such good efficiency out of these plumes.
Yeah.
Like, they've been around on the map for so long, and there's been nothing to deal with them.
And Max knew they were coming, too. He didn't deal with them early. He didn't push them off that position early, and now look at all the damage they've done. It's just crazy. He's in the middle of his eco. Max is down to 103 villagers. TaToH's on the neutral gold on the left. Max has actually found the neutral gold on the right, which is a good little bonus for him. But in terms of map control, I definitely favor TaToH.
Oh, absolutely. TaToH is just in such a good position, even when it comes to the pop as well. TheMax is always struggling to kind of get above that 150. TaToH just keeps raiding, keeps pushing down that military. Whereas TaToH, on the other hand, he's just sitting up nice and high. He's keeping towards that 200 side of the spectrum.
You know, Max is playing this so weird, because he's pushed away the plumed archers, and look what he did near that castle on the hill that was killing the villagers. He's made a TC. He's made another TC in the right-hand side of the map. Like, he's making TCs everywhere. He's trying to reboom the economy.
All about that nomad lifestyle.
Dude, he's making another TC down by those neutral golds on the left-hand side of his base. Like, like he's just got eco coming up everywhere, and I think his plan is just is he going to outlast the Mayans player? Can you do that? Is that allowed? Is that even a thing?
Let me check the rulebook. In
I
the
don't know.
rulebook, I'm pretty sure it says no, but TheMax has never been one for that.
Yeah, I have to say, this has been a fantastic game so far. Maybe one of the best Arabias in the tournament so far.
Completely agree with you. This has been so back and forth, and it's one of those things where TaToH's getting such good value, but TheMax, he just always has units to kind of throw.
Yeah, he's like surviving. You know, we think TaToH's going to deal the killer blow. He comes in with a few more units. He's booming up in the corner.
This is an issue, though. Siege Rams coming into this castle over on the east.
That is a big push.
And there's the GG behind it as well. Max just could not hold on there with the eco that he did have. It was good to see him play and hold in so well there, and I think he made some amazing plays, but TaToH just had the resources he needed, he had the momentum that he needed, and with that was able to close this one out pretty quickly.
I feel like if you're going Malians, you need to do that damage. Against Mayans, you need to do that damage very early.
Especially with the commitment he had to the longswords as well. That's a lot of resources that is really put away here, and he needs to find something to do with it.
Or even, like, I don't think the two-handed swordsman, the swordsman line is going to cut it in Imperial Age against Mayans. I think the Death Ball just kills it, even with the Pierce Armor bonus.
And
so you're going to need to go into, like, either Cav or, like, Onager or something, you know?
Agreed, and like you're saying there, it just comes down to the efficiency in terms of what he can get out of it. And if we look at this, 213 units killed for TaToH, 99 lost, I think that pretty much sums up the game pretty well. In terms of the actual resources, very even across the board there, a lot more stone, a lot more gold for TaToH there as well. And then just as far as the timings go, everything was pretty much dead even. That's just the way it was actually played out by TheMax there towards the end, just kind of lost his grip a little bit.
Yep. Yep, and I think, to be honest, I think he didn't make onagers. Someone was asking in the chat why he didn't make onagers. I think he was focused on the Treb War initially, getting quicker up to Imp, and then he was just kind of reacting after that to everything TaToH was doing, and we identified that early. Like, the mobility is just a killer.
Yeah,
against
I feel
the
like when you're kind of up against Mayans, you're taking down the castles nice and quickly.
Yeah.
You feel like you're in a really good
but
spot.
It's
so you don't
Mayans,
feel
so
pressure.
they can always have another castle.
Exactly.
There's always another castle somewhere, you know? It's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. But it is the Civ, and you know what you're playing against, right? So you should know what you need to do.
Exactly, and hopefully we'll see, well, TheMax is going onto his home map now. This is a map, as we said, he's a man who prepares, he likes his strategy, he likes to put in the time before a tournament as well to really kind of get to know what he wants. So I think this gives him a really, really good chance here to just go into the next map, get himself a win, bring it up to 1-1, and get that confidence back.
I wonder if he's going to go Mediterranean and Persians, because TaToH saw that. TaToH definitely saw that against Yo. It's a strong build, though. Like, if you can get your fish out that early, that's a crazy strong build, especially if you're next to the water. But if TaToH's expecting it, he could counter it hard.
Exactly. Is this the first time we've seen Mediterranean? No, we had the bean map the other day.
Yeah, the Persian build, where you get your dock out early. You send a couple villagers to woods so you can get the house down and the fishing ship out, and then you stay on food. So we can see they're joining the lobby right now. Let's see what TaToH is going to pick.
What do we got?
Can you read these?
I can read this
These are really small.
We'll see if we can.
We've got all the POVs on one little monitor, like this big. Oh, no.
And now we've lost the monitor.
Guy. It's black.
What have you done?
Everything's black.
Minus 10% prize pool.
Oh, my God. This guy's... Oh. It's impossible to find good help these days. Oh, now it's just us. Now we can't even see them. Okay, here we go.
Oh, there we go. I see what he was doing. Overlay plus 10% prize pool. He's just brought it up big for us so we can see what you want. TaToH,
no,
here we go.
Overlay,
Let's
guys.
have a look. Show me what's up here. Do we have the master secret spreadsheet? No, we don't. We just have the maps.
Yeah.
Here we go. No doubt circles. It looks like he knows what he wants to do here. Well, there we go.
All right. And the map is going to be...
Actually, well, it doesn't have to be Mediterranean. It could be either of the Max's picks
No,
as well.
I know. It could be the other one that he picked.
You asked for a zoom in of the big one, and we immediately lose all the information we need.
He picked Medi. It's Mediterranean. I don't know what the other map is.
We don't think that far ahead.
I was racking my brain, dude. I couldn't remember. All right, Mediterranean is the map, and we can see what
do you think the chances are of a mirror Persian?
I don't think so.
Don't think so?
I don't think that TaToH, a build that Max has labbed out, I don't think TaToH is going to go mirror Persian.
Here we go. Ooh.
Is he trolling us right now? Koreans?
He could be. I'm looking at his face in the cam. He definitely could be trolling us.
Koreans?
Cumans? Ooh, Cumans.
Persians?
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
I got it!
Oh, the mirror Persian pick. Yo, dude.
All right. So we know the Max has this build really well optimized.
Maybe the Max has a better build. For the
That's exactly it. We need to pay good attention.
Maybe he's got a build for every day of NAC. No, I think it's going to be a Persian mirror here. Let's get into the game, perhaps?
I'm trying.
Turkman?
I'm trying. I can't find it.
I think we might be on my point of view instead, and it is a Persian mirror match between these two players, TheMax and TaToH. And you can see this is not a bean map like the other time. This is a regular Mediterranean with the big pond. And what we're going to be watching for is the villager going out to dock super early nomad style. Persians actually get extra resources at the beginning, and they can afford to go out, place a dock, and then have some villagers on wood and make that extra house. I just love the fact that TaToH is playing standard and Max is playing his own special build. It's like TaToH saying, I can beat you with the standard meta build. I can beat your own like hybrid.
It's a big ask. Like TheMax is someone who definitely prepares for what he's after in a map, and to have TaToH go, because TaToH's a really good adaptive player, I'll give him that. But whether on this higher level he can deal with a specialized build from TheMax that's there to really kind of take him out, that's the question behind this one.
Well, I mean, it gives you a small advantage, right? It doesn't give you a huge advantage. So we'll see what TaToH can do. Persian's obviously a very strong pick on this map because you get those extra resources, and also underrated bonus I think is having your docks work faster, your TC work faster, and also your docks having more HP, so it's easier to come back on water. It's a lot harder for them to take you out of water for the entirety of the Feudal Age, right? So I think are we on TaToH's point of view right now?
We're on Max's over to the
point of view
now.
Yeah. Now, they're going to see each other and actually take the scout fight. Interesting. I don't know who's going to win there. I didn't see who hit first. It's always kind of up in the air, you know? The old game, it was whoever turned around hit first. But I don't think it's that consistent anymore because I've lost plenty of scout fights in DE. You can see Max now running right towards TaToH's TC, and if he loses his scout, oh no, losing your scout on a hybrid map is never a good idea.
Yep.
A lot of the times you can keep your scout in one of these side positions on the side of the map to make sure that your opponent isn't going for a landing and is sticking to that water meta. Losing your scout means that they basically have free reign to come and maybe drop some stables or archer ranges or anything along this side and hit you on the land.
Exactly. It's a big unknown at the moment for the Max. So we can see TaToH even try and whip something out of the bag, use his own special strategy that he's kind of thought of with this. I like to think the Max is going to be relatively open to seeing this, and he's pretty good at getting a read on a match as well. If he doesn't see enough like military from the docks, he's going to get an idea that something's up.
Yeah.
But right now it does make it hard for him. He's very blind.
And you can see he's already got that fishing ship up. TaToH doesn't even have the dock out. And with the fishing ship, his villager count is at 16. So it does count the fishing ship. And that is a slight boost, to be honest. It's a very, very nice build. Max's base, looking at this, he's got a lot of resources in one space. I mean, it is at the back, but if TaToH decided to land because Max doesn't have a scout, this is a very, very vulnerable position. You can see it doesn't have... Basically, he's got a stone up this hill. But other than that, all of his like essential resources are over here.
That's it. It can be locked down so quickly and easily. So that's one of the big things that Max is going to have to be looking for here.
Yep, and... TaToH now with a fishing ship out. Max already with 2 fishing ships. The villager count is even now, but I think Max is probably like a half ship ahead, if that's a unit of measure. I don't know, like 2/3 of a ship ahead. We'll see. TaToH scouting Max's base. I'm really nervous about Max losing that scout, because this is his line of sight right now. You can see exactly, he explored his entire base, and then right to the death in the TC. And that is never good, especially on these hybrid maps. Like I mentioned, we can see TaToH's point of view. TaToH sees this whole side, sees how it's open here, sees these resources. He doesn't see that other stone, but he sees 2 golds and this stone as well. And he sees the dock position from the Max, so that's pretty important. He can
the Max, though, making an even riskier decision here. Doesn't have line of vision, doesn't know what's going on in terms of scouting.
Right behind TaToH's scout, too.
Yep. TaToH, I have a good feeling, knows this one's coming now.
Oh my goodness, right behind TaToH's scout. So he doesn't even care.
He knows it's there.
Now he sees it.
Does the Max back off? Or does he go, element of surprise, doesn't matter to me, I know what's going on.
Yeah. And I think, you know what? I think he's under the impression that he needs to do this because he doesn't have a scout. He doesn't want to deal with that uncertainty of whether TaToH can land. And he doesn't want to, like, YOLO wall when he can't scout out the entire area, you know?
Absolutely. We see TaToH is starting to make the preparations for an attack, though. Is starting to put up some walls across the front of the Mediterranean Sea there, moving it over in towards the town center. And he's got an easy wall off here when it comes to the lumber. Pretty much mostly done for him, so it makes things very, very easy for him to be able to hold any kind of push here.
And Max actually has 5 on gold, so that's pretty interesting. He's gone for a second dock as well, so it's not going to be all land pressure here. But you can see TaToH's base. We were talking about the important area on Max's base. This is a pretty important area on TaToH's base as well. Both his stones and both his secondary golds. He's fortunate that his main gold is safe, and he's actually on that right now. And what is Max doing here? What is the plan?
All right, so it looks like we've got fire ships on the way from TaToH, so he's going to have something to deal with on the water here. Same thing coming out of the way from the Max, but is this what we think it is? It's a watchtower.
Yeah, big surprise, right? Right in between the stones. That's good. Unfortunately for him, he's not on stone, but I feel like after he finishes this, he's going to make a mining camp there, go on stone, and then maybe solidify this position even more.
Absolutely. Just try and hold away from the extra golds, the extra stones.
Yeah, and he's going to be delayed, I think, because of this on water, so TaToH should probably win the water battle. It's going to take a long time to kick them off the water because of those high HP docks, like we said. But Max only made 2 fishing ships. It's almost like he knew He knew he was going to lose water with this strat.
And the thing behind that means this has to do something. Overlooking at the max, he has to find a way to get aggressive against TaToH, has to do some kind of damage here, and without that, it means he loses water, he loses the fish boom behind that, and his eco is just going to be at a near standstill, and actually having to repair the fire galley, and it's gone.
Yeah, and I just think he knew he was going to lose water. You don't just make 2 fishing ships, you know?
Yeah.
I think his plan is to build enough navy to keep TaToH investing those resources on the water battle. And then try to do damage with this push in the middle, but he's heading back with the villagers. He's decided he is no longer...
Oh no, that's
he's no
so
longer
much
tower
idle
gang,
time.
he's now deer gang. So he's going to collect some food with that, and now
TaToH hinting is pretty comfortable as well. He's actually even queued up some extra fishing ships behind this.
I don't know about that one. That seems a bit risky to me, but we'll see.
A bit risque.
Yeah, a bit risque. Only 1 fire galley coming out at the moment, though, from the Max, so... Yeah, Max's push here, like, he just wasn't on stone, so he couldn't follow up this tower with anything.
That's it. He was looking for some way to kind of disrupt TaToH, and he just didn't find it, sadly.
Yeah.
He is getting some damage against these ships over here, but Demolition Raft out for TaToH. The specialty should be able to hold
Wait a
this
second.
pretty easy now.
Wait a second. He's got another villager. On the other side of the map.
You madman.
Yo, Max. Yo, is this going to be like a repeat of the Gold Rush and Hidden Cup where he made like bases on either side of I think it was Viper's base? He just has this like potential to forward. It's crazy. And he loves doing it. So this guy is going to come forward, and I don't know exactly what he's going to do. I mean, he doesn't have the res to click up to Castle Age yet, so he can't make like a siege workshop. And TaToH knows, dude.
He's on it.
He knows. He made an outpost on both sides of the map. He's making a barracks on the left side of the map now, so he's going to go into some counter units against anything Max can throw against him.
He's so prepared, but at the same time, though, looking at the Navy on the map, you can kind of decide, look, the Max has kind of given up on this one. What's his next way in? And that's some kind of land attack. You can either go for, I guess, up in a castle, go for a boom, or some kind of land attack. TaToH, he kind of just can't be left to be TaToH right now.
Max went right around that outpost, though. It's like he knew. TaToH's going to be so mad. I think TaToH got town watch, too. He went right around the wood line. Oh, that's like an accidental 9,000 HQ or IQ. Sorry,
Big
HQ.
brain moment.
He's about to build his HQ over here. Let's go.
All right, what's the plan, Max? You need to show us something special here. Get back into this game. TaToH at the moment looking pretty secure on the water. He's got enough fire ships over here really to kind of hold out. Let's see exactly what's inside these docks at the moment.
Well, Max hasn't been producing. Basically, what he did is he wants TaToH to keep being worried about the water, so he garrisoned one unit in each, and now TaToH, he's like, does he have 1? Does he have 5? Does he have 69? I don't know how many are in there. Yeah, no, thank you.
Nice.
And that villager is just chilling. He's just big chilling on the right-hand side. Might be even waiting for Castle Age. Like,
I was about to say, this could be like the 25-minute big brain play.
Yeah, I could see him just waiting for Castle Age until he gets those really impactful units. I think a tower here... I don't know how much damage a tower here is going to do because TaToH has other wood options, and as soon as he knows you got that villager there, it gives away your trump card, right? That's your wild card. And like I said, I keep talking about Persian docks. TaToH's been on these docks for 50,000 years. Like,
since he won water, he's been here with these fire galleys.
He has pumped so much fire into these docks, and they're not even
nearly halfway.
They're not even halfway, yeah. But he is sending scouts to these villagers, and he sent Spearmen earlier. This is 4 villagers lost for Max. I mean, he might take some HP from the units from TaToH, but this is a big deal, and Max isn't walled behind this. So all of these units, as soon as they kill these villagers, are going immediately to Max's base. I'd love to see him try to wall, maybe, if he can.
This has just been so hard for the Max. He's been on the back foot. He's been trying so hard to make things work for him as well. He's been trying to go for the sneaky landing. He's gone for the sneaky 2 base play.
He's going for a demo on the fishing ships. No, it didn't work. It died.
You made me go for the fishing ships.
Dude, I saw it. It was going right through TaToH's navy. It was like a dart. It was aiming for those fishing ships, but it died. I was so sad.
And now we have finally the scouts from TaToH making it to the other side. Good news is we do have a little bit of a wall in.
Yeah, Max doesn't seem to care. He's just, just a quick wall.
Exactly, but it's just getting further and further behind now. 46 villages compared to 30 of the max, or just, I guess, villages and fishing ships.
Yep.
But it makes such a difference. TaToH's going to be already most of the way up towards Castle Age. It wouldn't surprise me if we see TaToH get to Castle.
Well, I mean...
And then the max kind of be a little bit...
the
Max on his way
Max
up
is
to Castle.
90%, and he's dropping a stable with that sneak villager.
Ooh,
we're going to see Knights, boys, and look at the villager! Another villager from TaToH going out on that side. Heading out to scout and to wall, and he thinks he's secure.
He thinks
You're
he's
never safe,
This
dude.
is what happens with the max.
You're never safe, and the scouts from TaToH actually being countered pretty good by the spearman defense from the max. He had to run away from the gold. He's going to run towards the woodline. One poke there. I mean, Max is definitely behind in this. It shows 16 villagers, which is a little bit at this stage of the game.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. But he's got a sneak villager, and he's got knights producing, so
all right,
we'll see what he can do.
The serious question is, do you honestly believe this back stable, couple of knights, he'll be able to even up the villager count?
He needs to wait till he has like 4 or 5 knights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with a sneak, I think the biggest mistake you can make is going with like 2 or 3, maybe 1, 2
The mistake's been made, my friend. 2 knights in the base. How's TaToH going to go? Is he expecting this? Is he going to get the walls up? No walls, but here we go. Will we see the villager kills?
I feel like if you're this far behind, you gotta go in with a bang, you know? He's killed 1 villager, he's...
Working on a second.
Yeah,
there's
working
a
on
second. Third one is going to get into the town center.
Yeah.
Walls come up around the gold.
And, I mean, TaToH has a stable there, so he can make camels, I think, which is what he's going to do.
Hits Castle
as
as well.
Castle Age, yep. He's got a lot of... He's forced a lot of idle time, but I don't think it's the equivalent of the advantage that TaToH has on water and the advantage that TaToH has from the scouts roaming around Max's base.
That's it. The Max was looking for something here, but he might have just tried to spring the trap a little bit too early.
He's going monastery now, too, though. Max is doubling down on this little base over here. He's going monastery. Convert the camels. Knights actually trade fairly well against camels in like single-digit numbers, so...
Just look at the pikes as well, though.
Yeah.
He's got the numbers here to really kind of hold this one back. This might be the Max's last hurrah here.
We'll see. He's making camels of his own. He's got monks, so he is denying this whole side of the map from TaToH. We'll just see how he can follow this up. I would have loved to see him wait for a few extra units. Maybe he wanted to hit TaToH before he hit Castle Age. Maybe that was the thing, right?
Well, I guess it means he can't get into Pike or anything like that to really kind of try and mop them up. But at the same time, TaToH's defended this really well. It is only an 8 villager difference now.
Siege Workshop from
This
the
is
Max.
where the action's at.
And he's forced a tower. TaToH actually, I think TaToH is coming out here to try and snipe this villager. Okay, Max is going to quick wall. Good
stuff.
Nice play.
He needs this villager right now.
Yeah, you can't. If you lose this villager, it's really, really bad. Unfortunately, I think he's going to lose a monk here as well, though.
Did get the camel, however, so we got at least a trade out of it.
Yeah. On the other side of the map, the scouts are no longer doing damage to Max's base, so all we need to focus on at the moment is this push, this little area of the map. A monastery actually coming down from TaToH as well to try and stop this push. Max, I'm gonna keep saying it. I would have loved to see him wait. Just wait until you have like 4 or 5 nights.
A little bit more, because there was no way TaToH was expecting that. It wasn't like he was going to lose the element of surprise in this one. But TaToH really just needs to kind of hold this one down, keep his advantage. He's got the water to boom behind this.
You know what? He's feeling pretty safe because he's sending his units over to the other side. And he's got a villager over there, so I don't know if he's going to be coming forward with some buildings. But as soon as he gets to like that gold from the Max, it's so exposed. He's got a few spearmen there, but I don't think the spearmen are going to be able to clean this up. And he's going into the wood line now. Okay.
This, makes things very, very difficult. The good news is the Siege Workshop at home for the Max has come up. He is going to be able to contest these towers and things now, so we'll be able to look for that damage. But here we go in the wood line, going to mop up that spear, and then it's up to these villagers to get out of there before it really starts to bring the advantage even more so back towards TaToH. Okay, second TC, though, from the Max. So he's thinking about expanding his economy. Remember, TaToH is only just now dropping his second TC. Max has kind of delayed that quite a bit, but TaToH has all that water eco as well. Man, TheMax is just looking for somewhere to get a grip, to get somewhere that he can really begin to just hammer away at TaToH, and TaToH is just defending this like a champ. He did miss out on the sneak there, but it's not like he's lost overly much. He didn't lose too many of his villagers in the fight, and it looks like we might see a couple of freebies here for TheMax as well. But a couple of extra villages go down, and TaToH just keeps widening that gap now. 12 population difference in terms of, I guess, eco.
Yeah, the fact he can do so much damage with those cav with 0 armor upgrades too.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's
TaToH
not really good for TheMax.
Still building fishing ships behind this as well, really taking use of the fact that he won the water nice and early and trying to keep that boom up.
And the tower, actually the tower went down on the gold. I think that might have been a bit of an unnecessary tower. I don't really know what that accomplished. Maybe he wanted it to stop the monk pressure. And the monk from TaToH actually trying to convert the knights. Max wisely pulling that back. As soon as he gets a knight converted, it's like game over for that Mangonel. It's already game over for that Mangonel, actually. It might be game over for the villager as well. I think Max needs to heal this villager with the monk. Oh, he's done. He's done. And that's, you know, this push is just going to peter out now.
Except there's no way to kind of keep building this up. TaToH can just keep throwing units at it, expanding his economy behind it, and then what does TheMax do? How does he answer this? He puts up a town center at home, puts up a second extra town center as well, tries to find something that he could do with it.
He's running away.
Gonna save the units because there's no use just throwing them at the pikes. May as well hold on to them for later. But looking at this, TaToH even used that villager, came around the side, built up some extra docks
in Max's base.
Oh yeah.
This is the most alpha play. This is just asserting dominance all over Max. He's making docks on his side of the pond here. Oh man, he's even making docks on the other side near where Max's military is heading as well. Like, he's just capitalizing his advantage on the water so much. He's still making fishing ships. Still making fishing ships.
Just abusing that bonus he's got there as much as he possibly can. Finally managed to push away the Max as well, so now it's just about cleaning up these buildings. But look at that monk behind the gap. Oh, that is the Max we love.
Man. I think there's a hole there.
There might be a small hole
he can
here,
walk
actually.
through, but that's I hope he didn't get atonement. That would have been the worst upgrade ever. If he starts converting that monk, I swear to God.
Apart from that, at the moment, we are kind of going into a little bit of a stalemate until TaToH does decide to make the next move here. TheMax still looking for somewhere he can do some damage, but TaToH's just make it pretty much nigh impossible now. Yeah,
and this... What does he have in that siege workshop, actually? He has his third Scorpion on the way.
All right.
I guess he's waiting with the Knights. He's going to pop out with the Scorpions. Is he going to make more Knights? No, he's not making any more Knights. Okay. I don't think this is going to work.
Yeah, look, it's a good attempt.
Yeah.
But I still don't think it's going to work. TaToH even throwing up a 4th town center as well now.
No, I think that might be his 5th town center, actually. No, it's his 4th town center.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4th, and right next to it, I think Max is placing a barracks foundation. So Max is going to come forward with
just
4 more villagers.
Right now.
But that's not going to work. Well, it's not luck when TaToH's, or it's not bad luck when TaToH's controlling the map, right?
Very true.
He's taking all the map control, he's got all the scouting, he's got docks all the way around the pond. He can basically see exactly what Max is trying to do at all times, and then he can counter it. And
at this point, luck is just TaToH's preparation.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly it. And Max, I mean, I think he may have more like maybe even number of land villagers, but with the fishing ships counting as villagers, it's
TaToH sees
not
him
even
coming
close.
too.
Yeah.
He knows what's up here. He's going to put it up right next to that town center. TaToH's going to do a nice little garrison, and that's pretty much going to be that.
Look at the siege workshop. Look at the oh my goodness.
What are they going to do? Come close to his fire galleys?
Yeah, like that's just crazy. Why? It's right in the middle of Max's base, and is Max dropping a watchtower to deny that? Are you serious? Can't you just send a villager, cut the straggler tree, and attack it?
Barracks operation was ended very, very quickly by the town center there as well. But yeah, watchtower to deny the siege workshop. Like, drop down a mangonel, drop down a ram from the siege workshop.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sounds like a good counter, right?
He's making a monastery in the back of his base too, so he's going full defensive mode. I don't think he wants to lose this game quickly. He wants to stall it out as long as possible. I'm not sure what he can do though.
That's the problem. It's what I've been running into here a couple of times now. I've just been trying to think, how can he get himself out of this situation? What can he do
in
to
a
kind
mirror
of really
matchup too? There's no like civ advantage. It's just
not like he's waiting for a different moment to strike here.
Yeah. So Mangonel out now. And it's well, it's going to be taken care of by the Knights real quick. And this villager is going to be taken care of by the Knights, I think, too.
Yep.
Pikemen on the way, however. So that is not great for the Max.
Walls are coming up, so trying to deny it just a little bit further again. This starts to make it really, really hard for the Max now. He's got to... It's one of those things, he's trying to figure out what he can do here, but
well,
like we said, it makes it so hard, because TaToH's got the eco advantage, he's got the water in the center. We're looking at 120 versus 81 in terms of the difference. TaToH's got the military advantage, so in theory, the Max just cannot catch up here without some kind of ridiculous play.
I mean,
and what is the play?
He's 80% up to Imperial Age in front of TaToH. I don't know how that happened, but he is. And once again, I don't know what he's gonna do in it. I really don't know what he's going to do. He doesn't have a launching point to hit TaToH. The Persians don't really have a super smooth transition unit to go into immediately upon reaching Imp. Like he's making a castle, so maybe he could go into like trash bows or something, but what's that going to get you? I just don't...
Exactly, so we have the Max hitting Imperial here. What are we looking at? He's going pretty much majority pikes by the looks of things, which doesn't exactly make it easy to deal with. I guess at the same time though, TaToH is going into majority here Knight, so he's looking at Paladin. So the pikes are going to come in handy in terms of defending that one, but still it's...
Oh, the Knight's hitting the villagers, just delaying even more. Like he's up to Imperial Age fast, but like what can you do with it? Like look at his researches. He's not even researching anything when he gets here. He's just making extra villagers. Like you want to be able to capitalize on that earlier Imperial time, right?
It's great to be there, but now what?
He's
What's
not
the next
doing
step
anything
in the
with
plan?
it. No, and TaToH is going to be there soon, and I can guarantee you TaToH is going to research a ton of things once he gets there. His economy is just so much better than Max's.
Got TaToH just clicking over now. Let's see exactly what he does decide to go in for.
He's going for a castle.
The proxy stables coming up.
Yeah, he's got a castle coming up on the left-hand side, which is going to be great to deny Max pushing from that direction. Also got a university coming up, so maybe he's going to go for chemistry, perhaps.
So we've got Cavalier on the way here as well. So do we think it's one of those things where you start seeing Cavalier into Paladin, then Trash Bows to support?
I don't think Max can do that, because I don't think he has the eco to do that, but TaToH surely could.
Yep.
I'm still a bit unsure on the new Persians. I think we need a few more months to kind of like figure out exactly what, especially the mirror, is going to look like. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. We got pikemen from the Max, and we got a ton of researches coming in from TaToH. The armor upgrade, we got chemistry coming in. Like, look at the difference here, and the Max finally just getting Halberdier. That's it. That's his unit comp in Imp. It's just Halberdier.
Like we were saying before, we saw the Max hit Imperial, and the question is what are you going to do with it?
Yep.
We see TaToH hit Imperial, immediately drops down the Cavalier research, goes for the extra armor upgrades, gets chemistry behind this as well. He has a clear, distinct plan that he can really work with, whereas the Max at the moment, it's kind of just move to move.
And I mean, TaToH's already locked down that one side. You can see him getting that unique tech in the castle right now. He's getting it for the trash bows at the moment. And yeah, it's not looking good at all. Max made that castle on the right-hand side, but obviously Cavalier raiding on the left as well. Cavalier trying to get in on the right.
Cavalier raiding is just so bad.
It's
like,
so annoying. It's
just
so
doing
impossible
nothing
to kill.
help deal with it.
And you're basically chasing with helps the entire time. Max doesn't have water control. He doesn't have control of either side. Yeah, it's hard to see what he can do in this situation.
And look at this, there's crossbow research underway for TaToH as well. Thumb ring coming up behind that. So it looks like we will indeed just being seeing Cavalier, of course supported by, for those that don't know, unique tech did get changed for Persians there. Basically now it means the crossbow gold cost is exchanged to wood cost.
No, it's... Yeah, wood cost. Yeah.
Like, I was gonna say
food, and I'm like, no, wait a second, you don't need food for crossbow. I'm an idiot. Don't worry about it.
It's so good,
I don't know why I'm here.
Because you're fun, and I love it. I'm having a great time.
There you go. I'm having a good time, too. I don't think Max is having a good time, though. Did you see that segue? That was amazing.
It was beautiful. This is why we have you.
He's having a terrible time with these Cavalier. I mean, he's cleaning some up with the Halberdiers, but the problem for him is, like, every time he chases these Cavalier with the Halberdiers, he's losing more and more map control, and TaToH can do whatever he wants in this situation.
See, we give Persians a new unique tech. Right now, boiling oil. Things like that could be helpful.
Yeah.
But look at this. The Cavalier, like you said, just running around, raiding, denying the university on top of this as well, killing off more and more of those villagers, just creating such a struggle here for the Max. I will give it to him, though. He has managed to pop up quite a bit more than he was, and I thought he was going to have a lot more trouble with where he was at right now, but that does not mean he's anywhere close to bouncing back right now.
And Max is actually going for the university as well, so maybe he's going to be going for chemistry. Maybe he's going to be going for the trash bows. You can see the archery range coming down for him now, but the Treb's already hitting the castle. We've got a bombard cannon as well out from TaToH, and I think TaToH's just so confident at the moment.
It's absolutely TaToH's
He's just taking
game
his
to
time,
lose
yeah.
at this point, unless he does something like outrageous and manages to really pull himself behind, which honestly I don't know what he can really do to get himself that far up. And we've got cannon galleons.
He has to leave his computer for about 5 minutes. Legitimately, that's what he has to do right now. Leave his computer for about 5 minutes. And that tech is coming in on the castle for Max. I think it's going to be complete before the castle. Yeah, it's complete now. But the castle is definitely not going to survive this. We got a cannon galleon, we got 2 Trebs, we got a bomber cannon, even firing uphill.
Siege.
Yeah. I love the cannon galleon addition from TaToH. If you have water, why not use it? And he's actually hitting the castle on the other side with cannon galleons. And at some point, like, Max is just not going to have any land to build on.
But that's it. It's just whittling away at him now, and here come those crossbows that cost basically nothing.
And TaToH's going to place a castle. Oh, it's a GG, okay. He was putting a castle right on top of where Max's
castle. That's a good position.
He put docks where his docks were. He put castles where his castles were. It was just absolute dominance there from TaToH. In the mirror matchup of the map that Max picked and the map that he made a special build for.
I think losing that scout so quickly there really hurt him.
Yeah, it was
I think he felt obligated to kind of go for something to kind of try and even that up as much as possible.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame it didn't really work out for him overall.
So we can go through. TaToH's got all the stars except the society star.
No society for TaToH.
He's finished. Excellent society over there.
Excellent. Very cultured.
very organized. Let's look at the military units. Units killed, obviously, in favor of TaToH. Not too many for this game. Most of the game was about map position, I think.
I agree entirely here. And the thing is, look at this as well. TaToH buildings raised really shows you who's kind of on the back foot there, starting to lose their production, lose a lot of their base. And let's have a look at the economy as well. I want to see food collected.
All
the
stars. All the stars. Look at that insane food collection. That's all fish.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where he has so many fishing ships that his villagers don't need to worry about farms. He can get them onto wood, stone, gold, and because of that, look at the advantage he had.
And you see that technology stats, like faster up to Imperial Age, but like we said, didn't do anything with it. Faster up to Castle Age too, but the push, he didn't wait for enough knights. You gotta wait for the knights.
He didn't have the sneaky play.
You can't give away your position like that.
We'll be moving into game number 3 right now. TaToH only 1 victory away from securing the best of 5. Last game for tonight as well, so I know everyone's hoping for that best of 5 to kind of go out all the way to the 5th game, but TaToH's looking very strong right now.
I agree. I mean, I thought Max could give him a run for his money. I mean, Max has given us 2 fairly entertaining games, I think, but TaToH seemed in control of both of them. Past the middle mark of that first game anyway. Yeah. Once he denied the push, the initial push for Max, TaToH definitely took that one.
All right, let's have a look here. So we've got Golden Pit coming up from the Max. Fun though, we haven't actually seen this, so it's really nice. Get a little bit of a refresher in there. So for those that don't know, very, very similar to Gold Rush, except less wolves. Does have a pit in the middle as well, instead of any kind of hill situation. So it means once you take the gold, there is still a good chance that the player opposite that can actually come in and take that gold back.
It's much better than Gold Rush. Like Gold Rush, if you're on the hill, then you automatically have the hill advantage. In Golden Pit, you're taking a real risk. And we can see on the Max's POV, I saw the Slavs as a pick, which is, I think in Hidden Cup, we saw the Slavs quite a bit on that map. And the TaToH, I saw you typing
TaToH, the man himself.
The strat with the Slavs is basically to build up your eco in your own side of the map and essentially like ignore the middle of the map until you want to really push out with a huge force and then kick your enemy off.
Yeah.
And we'll see what TaToH goes for. This is a very interesting map with a lot of interesting civ picks.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you kind of expecting? Because this is one of those maps where I'm really not kind of sure what they really want to go for in terms of the civs. Do you think anyone has kind of a little bit of an advantage here that would sway it?
No, I think they've no. I think there's so many civs you can go on this map. Slabs, we might even see slabs from TaToH here. Look at where he's he's looking at the Japanese, he's looking at the Malians. Okay, Malians is a great pick too. Malians
TaToH putting on some lo-fi beats to study to.
Yep. Malians is a really good pick for this map as well. I mean, they're a good pick for most maps. You get that reduced wood cost, you have a ton of units you can go into, and a good late game composition as well.
All right, let's jump into what could be potentially the final game of this series. TheMax, at this point, TaToH, I would say, he's the one who has to lose this. He's up 2-0 at this point. We'll see exactly what he does decide to go with it. But over in the blue, towards the north of the map, we do have TaToH playing as the Japanese.
Is he playing as the Japanese? I thought he was playing as Malians.
Oh, overlay guy. What have you done? You've lied to us.
No, it was our last. It might have been our last game.
We're doing so well.
Well, no, it's not our last game. This isn't pre-recorded. Just kidding. No, he's playing. TaToH is playing as the Malians, and Max is playing as the Slavs. Now, the Slavs.
Too much hope.
Okay, we'll start with the Malians since your point of view is over there. The Malians are a very, very good civ. Basically, you get wood reduction bonus on all buildings, so that's essential when you're going up to the next stage, when you're dropping your production buildings, when you're dropping your houses, etc. So it comes into play when you're building up that your early game eco. And then obviously late game they get a ton of options. The Slavs are very boomy civs, so they get the farm bonus, but they also have an extremely strong late game composition. And they have the siege workshop bonus as well, so that's very, very nice.
Then having a quick look at the map in terms of seeing if we've got anyone with a little bit kind of... Because I know we have seen some iterations of this map where it can be quite unbalanced. This is actually looking quite good to me, which is nice. We do have the Max with the backwood there, back berries as well, so looking quite good for him there. Does have gold towards the front, and gold is pretty far away from the town center here, but I've definitely seen worse. Should be a relatively easy wall-off for him as well.
Yep.
Looking over towards TaToH, again, gold quite forward, secondary gold as well. No backwood, however, but again, looking like it should be a relatively easy wall-off around here.
And we'll just, at the early game, we'll just switch over to TaToH's point of view here, so you can see kind of how they're going to play that early game scouting and getting all the resources in. You can see TaToH's kind of looking at that side of the map. He sees those wood lines are connected. You see how he like scrolled his screen a little bit? He's looking for places to wall. He's looking for places to make his base more secure. And now he's going to go out to the middle of the map and maybe try and find Max.
And this is something I love watching the POVs at the start as well. You see literally every kind of ticking information they need. They're scouting for every little detail they need so they can build up their bases and be ready for the long haul that could be this game.
Get ready for the dance games because we're on Age of Cubes right now. Max just spending his time actually pushing the, is it Ibex? Ibexes?
Yes.
Ibexi? Ibex?
Ibex?
We'll figure it out.
It sounds like it might be the plural of itself, hey?
It's pushing the Ibex into his TC to get that early food bonus. Obviously, TaToH deciding that he'd rather scout his enemy. So maybe he's thinking about going for some early game shenanigans here, maybe some men-at-arm pressure.
That's kind of what this says to me straight away. He's looking for those key positions to push where he can kind of do the damage. And with that, if he does manage to kind of get across the map there, especially on a map like this where map control is essentially everything going into kind of middle game onwards, that's where this is really going to matter.
So Max, early walls, okay. And that's, I mean, that's a great place to wall your base. He just needs one more in that little choke point, just like TaToH there. He needs one wall in that tiny little tree choke point to secure the entire right side of his base.
And what have we got here? TaToH just taking the next ball by the looks of things. Should be pretty much, yep, bang on time as well for the Max. In games like this, it's going to be so similar on this high level. The basic build-up is pretty much going to be the same, and then from there you can see pretty much second for second each player.
Yeah, and it looks like Max is just going to annoy TaToH a little bit. He knows he's not going to kill that villager. It's actually questionable losing HP on your scout, because if you get in a scout war with the other player, then you're going to be at the disadvantage. But I think it might be worth it just to delay a little bit. And there's the barracks coming down from TaToH. So we're probably going to see men-at-arms coming in here.
Absolutely, and with that, it's a reason he got all this early scouting information. Oh, did try to actually get the villager there as well. However, TaToH swapping it to the other side really well played.
That was a nice little play, yeah. That was a cheeky little play there. Something you can't do with like tons of lag either.
Yeah,
you screw that
definitely.
up like 90% of the time.
I don't know, interesting situation going on there. Did you just delete that and leave it? No, he's going back for it. Don't worry. I was a little bit concerned there, but he's going to be all right. We've got TheMax starting to look like he wants to finish up those walls as well. Question, does he know about this gap right here?
I don't know if he knows about that. We'll see.
There we go. No, he definitely knows about it. It's there. He can see it. He's just chosen not to wall it at this stage, I guess.
No, I don't think he does, dude.
Oh, wow.
I don't think he does.
Let's have a look
I'm
here.
looking from my point of view. No.
There we go. No,
he
doesn't
assumes,
know.
Dude, he assumes that is an entire wood line.
Oh, no, this could hurt. How close? Everywhere else is walled.
Ooh.
Everywhere else right now is walled.
Oh, man. And the militia are already building up. And Max is the first one on the way to Feudal Age. So maybe he's going to go for some scouts. I didn't see how many he had on wood, but he's not sending any out to the gold. So he's probably going for a scout build here. And he's fully walling his base, which feels so bad because of that gap. If those men-at-arms appear in his eco, he's going to be like, what?
Come on, man. You got the cubes, too.
Yeah,
if anyone's going to see
where?
it, it's going to be you.
Yeah, well, once he's done this wall, what he might do, which you see a lot of players do, is send the villager out and see if they path in a different direction.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm really surprised he hasn't checked it, actually.
Well, no, he has to finish the wall first before he can do it, right?
True.
Yeah. But the gap is there, and oh, man. I think he's heading right there. I think he's heading in that direction. There's always, chat, there's always a hole.
There is,
It's
and look at
always
this.
somewhere. And look, he sees the
Scouts
mill.
through.
He sees the mill right here, and he's going to stop his scout. He's going to be like, no, 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 no.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
I am Secret TaToH, and my men-at-arm rush.
Oh, there we go. He's giving it away. The reaction from TheMax is slow. He hasn't got it. Could potentially get trapped here as well with the militia.
Yep, and this is a
Gets the
drush,
block.
actually. I thought it was a men-at-arm rush, but it's definitely a drush, so I look like an idiot now, but it's still doing the damage. Max deciding to put a gate there and deciding to put a house beside the berry as well to defend against this. He might actually be able to wall this into the little corner. Look, yeah.
Definitely not what he wants, but at the same time, this'll do for now.
Yeah, who's the big boy now? He's walled into his little cage here.
But interestingly enough, because of this, we haven't seen a barracks, so he hasn't got any kind of transition happening now. TaToH's still bought himself a lot of time.
You know, in this situation, you might just decide to go for eco if you're Max, because if you see the drush come in, you basically assume that TaToH's walled.
Yep.
So what is your military going to do for you? You already have your starting scout. You're getting that map information. What more is a few extra scouts going to do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where he knows what his opponent's going for, may as well just match
He
it at
dropped,
this
as
stage.
soon as he dropped those walls, I don't know if you noticed, he dropped down like 5 farms.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, and he wants to get that Slav bonus, right? He wants to get his eco rolling. He wants to get up to Castle Age now as fast as he possibly can. We can see TaToH on the way to Feudal Age at the moment. Let's take a look at his resources. Looking decent enough. Sending some... He's got some villagers on gold, so maybe he's going to be able to click up once he gets there. Or fairly soon after.
Looking really good in terms of his walls as well. Got a lot of area there that he can kind of boom up in between. But I feel like TheMax is definitely kind of a little bit shaken at this point.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
like,
think...
Do you blame him?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Like, he couldn't see that hole. Like, it looks like a full wood line and one tile gap. One tile gap. Let's check out TaToH's point of view and see what he's going to be up to. It's a pretty slow point in the game at the moment. Just trying to manage his eco. He's going for a stable as one of his transition buildings, and he's going for, what was that in the back of his base?
Market.
That is a Market Blacksmith stable.
Oh,
Oh no, he didn't drop. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Very interesting. All right, let's see what Max is up to. Max is now discovering that hole and walling way outside it as well. And he's still paying attention to that drush. So that drush is still doing work, forcing repairs out, forcing idle time.
Well, that's it. It's being annoying at least, though. It's not a complete loss. And then we've got the market. We've got the blacksmith there from TheMax. So looking like a pretty standard build from him. Just dropping down some extra farms, wanting to look relatively good in terms of the next stage. And from there, I think it's just going to go pretty much into boom, right?
Well,
but
the market...
TaToH, though, is committing to the stable.
Yeah, the market's a bit of a weird choice when you're going stable too, right?
Yeah.
Because like you only need 2 buildings to advance to the next stage. So maybe TaToH, maybe he wasn't super comfortable with his build when he hit Castle Age and he figured like he needed a market to kind of balance his eco, but I haven't seen him really selling that much.
Yeah, the thing is behind that as well, the stable came up third, essentially. So he had the market, the blacksmith, then he decided to build a stable. So that has to be hinting at he wants to go to Castle and then make something happen with that stable. Otherwise, it's just extra resources wasted that he could have used on town centers.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's a market now from TheMax, so he's going market blacksmith. I definitely favor TaToH in this situation. I mean, he's up to Castle Age faster. This is exactly the build that he planned out in the beginning. And are you looking at it, Max?
I'm looking at just like a villager.
I look over to your screen and there's just a Max villager in the middle of nothing. And this is, I'm not even, you know what, at this point, I'm not even surprised.
I know, right? You know where he's going to go? He's going to go like over here or something, whack up a couple of stables. And
no, Siege Workshop, dude. Just
oh, true, very true with slabs.
To boldly go where no slab has gone before. That's what he's doing on the top side of the map up here. The Drush is still doing work, by the way. I mean, he's forcing a repair villager out of Max at all times. It's extremely annoying. If I was Max, I'd almost just like, let him in. Fight him, you know?
Get rid of him, get rid of that annoying horn.
Yeah, exactly. Lose a villager. You don't care. It's just annoying.
So TaToH will be up to Castle a little bit earlier, about 30% quicker at this point in time.
And TaToH Scout. TaToH Scout is heading out.
Let's jump over.
Okay.
Let's
Max,
see what he got.
Max is making a barracks. If Max sees this scout, he can't bring it back. He can't bring it back to his villager. He needs to go in a different direction. He's just going to pick the fight. I think you need to run to the corner. Okay, run across the front of his base. That makes more sense. If you run to the corner, maybe TaToH thinks something is up, right?
Yeah, you're trying to lead me away.
Yeah.
No, this is for TheMax at the moment. Barracks coming up. Hopefully he'll be able to transition into something here. The only thing I'm worried about is TaToH has that stable up already, so TaToH may not be looking to go eco behind this, and if I feel like he meets the aggression, then it's going to be a lot different.
Yeah. I mean, his eco looks pretty good. I mean, he's dropping 2 town centers here. Dropping 2 town centers immediately upon Castle Age. Kills the scout from Max, but I think it did the job. I definitely think it did the job, delaying TaToH's scout from finding the forward villager. And we'll see what
this. The spear comes across as well. Obviously
that's not
going to see it.
It's not going to see it. Nothing's going to see this dude, all right, until Max has like 5 buildings on the other side of TaToH's base.
What is TaToH up to with this? He's going 3 town center, monastery stable.
Yeah, he's gonna get the relics. He expects knights from Max.
This is beautiful play.
And he's fully walled, so...
Look at that monastery coming up at the front as well for TheMax.
Oh, monastery spearmen. Well, I mean, slabs can go infantry. The farms make it really, really easy to go into a ton of spearmen, so we'll see how it plays out for him. That TC at the front, I like it. I think it secures that gold. And it's impossible for TaToH to hit those vills at the moment.
Absolutely. Always good idea to have that that town center on the far side of the gold rather than
and
back.
TaToH's going to find this forward. That's huge. That's really, really big. He's going to lose his scout
to
the spearman, but he's going to see the monastery barracks and he's going to be like, oh, I knew there was something up here.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on now. He knows what he needs to prepare against. Let's see if he switches gears here a little bit, or nope, just more villagers, monk behind it.
Fort Siege Workshop? What do you want to bet? I'll bet you $100 right now.
Oh, come on, this is TheMax.
Flat out.
I know I lose that bet, and
I'm
the fact I can see it on your screen as well. You're trying to take me.
I'm like slightly ahead. $100 right now. Right now. Yep, Fort Siege Workshop, but I think TaToH is going to push this away. I think he's got a monk coming out right here. And he's gonna maybe deny the Siege Workshop?
Come on, convert the villager. But denies it for now. Pike should hopefully come in and begin to deal with this monk, but no, Max decides to bail on out.
This is the greatest play I've ever seen. So he doesn't want the Siege Workshop to go down. It's about 50%, so he's walled in his monk, so if the villager comes back, He's going to convert the villager. He can't die to the pikeman. Max is going to have to get atonement to take care of that monk. That is the cheekiest play I've ever seen in my entire life.
I absolutely
Do you want the Siege
love
Workshop or not? Because you're going to have to work for it, all right?
Oh, there we go. So he got rid of it now, but did have to work
Oh, he
for
did
it.
have... Did he have atonement? He deleted the monk. He had atonement.
Yep.
Wow.
I
Who's
know,
laughing
commitment.
now? Not me. And actually, TaToH is going to pick off another monk. Max was going for the relics up near his monastery, and TaToH killed that with a scout of his. So very nice play there. Also, Max is now thinking about heading towards the middle of the map.
Does have that town center down in the center there as well, so really looking like he wants to kind of pick this one up, grab it basically, and just be ready to essentially just make it TaToH have to come to get him.
But remember what we were talking about with Golden Pit. Oftentimes, the first player to go to that middle, like you have a couple piles of gold at your own home. You're safe enough until like late Castle Age, and oftentimes the first player to secure that middle gets pushed right back off of it.
Well, I guess, look, TheMax knows that as well, so I hope he's really kind of in there to keep it. But at the same time, I agree with exactly what you're saying here. All it takes is a bit of siege from TaToH. He's got the downhill to play on if he does want to, and then it just makes it near impossible to hold, especially when it's low number armies as well.
Yeah, and the outpost that Max is dropping on the middle is such a great play. I think I might be a little bit ahead of you, but I saw an outpost foundation coming down on the gold. He wants to keep a heads up on everything that TaToH is going to do at this point. Oh, wow, I'm really far ahead of you. Okay.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of a slow roll here. It keeps kind of dropping back, but it should be alright. There we go. Outpost is up in a sec, and what have we got from TaToH? TaToH looks like he's going out. He's trying to secure as many of the relics as he can now as well. Looks like he knows the fact that he's kind of been forced off the middle and he may potentially need that extra gold later on.
So we'll see we'll go over to TaToH's point of view and see what he's looking at this moment. It's all about map control right now. I mean, neither one of them is really making an army composition that can kill the other or can attack the other person's base. So they're really going to focus on what are the important areas of the map, how can I build up my eco to support the army composition. I need to push them off of those areas. TaToH definitely with an advantage in the economy, not only villager count, but it's been a lot more smooth. He hasn't had repair villagers, he hasn't had to build stuff in the middle, etc., etc. He's just stayed at home.
Exactly, and because of that, he's got a little bit of advantage in terms of the villager count. It's not huge, but it's one of those things where it's enough that you can see TaToH's kind of making a little bit, I guess, more consistent choices.
And he's making a castle on the top side there. Now that's an interesting spot for a castle. I guess he just wants to secure that side of his base. Maybe he thinks Max has a lot more production buildings over there than he actually has. I'm wondering why.
My other thought is it could be to just try and secure that gold a little bit extra
you
as
can
well. He's got the
wall.
town center there, though.
Yeah, it's just it seems weird to me. He's got the outpost, and you can wall too to see if anything's coming in from that direction. So I don't know. Maybe he's going to place another one on the front of his base. Max almost has enough stone for a castle as well.
Do you think he'll place it down in the middle, or do you think he's going to do a traditional Max thing and just drop it right on top of TaToH and use that as a staging point?
I can't see him placing it on TaToH. There's not enough space. I think it's got to be in the middle.
I agree.
Even though it's super vulnerable late game, I think it's got to be in the middle. And yeah, there it is.
There it is. Bang on.
Yeah. Right in the middle of the map. Now, the downside to this is if you're getting hit by trebs, most likely they're getting the hill advantage against you because you'd be able to range them otherwise.
Yeah, there's like no tile advantage there whatsoever to really work with. Lots of monks in the middle there for Max as well, so just trying to keep TaToH out of there. But it looks like TaToH's kind of getting ready to prep. He's going up into Imperial Age. He knows he needs to take the middle, and once he takes the middle, it's basically just a slow grind to just bringing all the resources out of Max, and then basically closing this game up.
Okay, so we were talking about, you know, how you can push people off the middle, but also, flip side of that, you can hold the middle and starve the other player out of gold. And the economies are almost even at the moment. Almost even villager count. You can see the monks going forward to that castle. A villager switch is always nice because it's not only -1 for the other player, it's +1 for you until she dies. And now he's heading back to the security of that middle position. The scout actually picked one monk. Will it pick another one?
Looks like it might. Oh, this has been a long conversion, but does get it.
That is a very long
However,
conversion. Whoa!
doesn't get the kill with the mangonel.
The dodge.
But we do have the Ghetto out as well. Actually, it's a really strong unit, especially when they get into a lead as
Did you
well.
just call them ghettos?
I did.
Isn't it Gebetto?
It totally is, and I feel really bad right now. You can tell I am so tired. I read it as written, and I just feel like a fool now.
Yep, and now the Gebettos are heading across the map. They are a speedy unit, you know, and they do pump out a significant amount of damage, so they can blast through these palisade walls, do some damage to Max's eco. Max is actually, I think he knows these are coming and he's going to wall behind. Yeah, he's sending a couple villagers now to make a stone wall, I think, on that little gap. He doesn't want to be punished for that. Not 2 times in one game. No way.
That's it.
No way.
Extra outposts coming down as well, but Village are going to get sniped pretty quickly here. TaToH in Imperial as well, so he does have that advantage in the Treb war now. Can get a couple of Trebs out, use that hill advantage. The only thing is he does need to keep them safe.
And actually, Max is making Boyar. He's got some Boyar going against those Gebettos, and Boyar are actually surprisingly good against Gebetto.
All right, looks like he's looking for them. Gonna try and micro against them as best as he can. Castle, though, looks like there was a little bit of commitment there from TaToH, but he has actually changed his plan with that. Does just need to be careful he doesn't lose any of this kind of valuable siege.
And TaToH is going to be pushed back from that, but here come the trebuchets from TaToH. And this is what we were talking about before. That castle that Max dropped, while it does give him some security in the middle, look at how much damage those trebs are going to be doing to that. As the Boyars are cleaned up in that fight.
It's just so much damage in one hit. But look at this, the Boyars at the front, they are starting to deal with the trebuchets as well. We do need the repair comes in, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Too little too late here. Manages to get the convert on one of the Boyar, but again, it looks like the next trebuchet will go down as well. So an expensive loss there for someone that doesn't have the middle.
And he's going to start running out of gold soon. He still has a few piles in his base, but definitely going to start running out, and he definitely needs gold units to keep pushing Max off this position. But Max needs something to counter any more trebs that are going to come out. He can't keep sending Boyar up to that position, not with 2 castles there now.
Exactly, then the hill advantage as well, it basically makes it impossible to push into. We've got a lot of barracks coming up here from TaToH as well, so it looks like he's going to go for a little bit of a flood behind this. We did also have some cannons coming out as well, so he's getting very prepared at the moment. Just take the center back and then take the push directly to the Max's base.
Boyar are pretty good against infantry though, and you're going to flood infantry against Slavs?
Yeah, true.
We'll see. We'll see. As long as Max can hold on to that middle position for probably another, what, 5 minutes? I think he'll be in a good spot. If TaToH gets access to that, though, it's going to start snowballing out of control, I think.
All right, here we go. The siege push is back from TaToH as well. Trebuchet's out. We've got the cannon out. Monks behind that. And we do actually have the Gebetto behind that as well. So they are ready to defend this one as much as possible. And I don't know if he can really push into it with the double castle there as well.
That's a lot of Boyars.
That is a lot of Boyars.
That's more Boyars than I've seen in a long time. That's crazy. And he's gonna push up here. The monks are gonna do good work against this.
Absolutely. So he's gonna run in, go for the snipe on the trebs, and then kind of get out of there as quickly as possible. But look at this.
He saw those monks. He saw the monks. He's not giving up 2, not like that. And then you have to. It's not only giving up 2. It's like giving up 4 because you have to fight against the 2 that that he converted, right?
And then on top of that now, we've got the trebuchets finally starting to rain absolute hell into the middle of the map here. We have 3 of them out. That's so hard, because these are doing roughly 500 damage per hit as well. That is so much to try and out-repair.
And Max is finally researching Longsword at the moment. Squire's getting all the infantry upgrades, conscription coming in. He's got the barracks behind, so he's ready to flood. I think losing that castle is fine as long as you're ready to counterattack as soon as TaToH attempts to take the position. And you push him right back again.
But look at this, he's got another castle here towards the center as well.
And speaking of castles on the center, I see a foundation there from TaToH.
Oh, I see a foundation too.
That's a big boy play right there. Yeah, here he comes.
But still, I just don't know, how can the Max push into this though? We've got so many pikes here as well now.
If he builds up enough and he flanks, he can. I mean, the Boyars are super strong, but yeah, I think he's about a minute too late with his techs and with his with these units to follow up. That castle from TaToH definitely going to go up with those gold positions. It's so hard to get at those villagers, especially with the military patrolling from him. TaToH once again expanding. I saw that from your screen, expanding across the map.
That's what the
like
man
he does in all games, taking map control.
He doesn't wait for the game to come to him. He's out there to get it. And looks like we are going to see the push from the Max here now as well. We'll notice the castle and again just bails out of there straight away.
And with the 3 monks now, the monks are so important in this fight against the Boyars. A very expensive unit, very tough unit. You don't want to fight against enemy Boyars that you've given him.
And even behind that as well, both players at the moment getting pretty high pop. TaToH is just about to max out of this one. Looking like he's got the upgrades on the Boyars there. He's really starting to look
towers! Double towers for Max! Oh no!
But did you just see the elite come in? I just saw that come in. And these are so hard to push into now.
Elite Boyar. Oh my goodness. I can't remember the last time I saw that.
Well, you haven't seen it yet.
Nothing?
It's normal Boyar still. Sorry to break it to you.
Oh, what?
We got Elite Gabetto.
Elite Gabetto! No! Man, why'd you say that's not a big deal? Those are trash. I was looking at the Boyars. I'm like, I'm behind.
Did you see them just get rid of those traps?
Yeah,
man.
They wiped it up.
Yeah, this is dangerous because look at them. They're so quick now. They're absolutely everywhere.
Oh,
and they're just cleaning this all up from within the tower's range as well, so it's so hard to engage.
He can't fight regular Gabetto, let alone Elite Gabetto with this composition. And yeah, what a great performance by TaToH. Like, Max was trying his best to secure that area, but TaToH was just like, no, I'm going to take it back.
TaToH's done an absolutely fantastic job throughout this entire series. We did think it was going to be a lot closer. The Max put up a good fight in every game, I'll say that. It's not like he kind of lost this one or TaToH absolutely steamrolled it. Just some couple of bad decisions, some couple of little bit of bad luck as well there for the Max, and it kind of just shifted everything so strongly towards TaToH.
Yep, and I think since that first game, like the first probably 20 minutes of the series was the only point where it was in the Max's favor. And then it just kept getting more solidly in TaToH's favor throughout. And the Persian mirror in Mediterranean against Max's signature strategy, that was a bold pick from TaToH.
I know.
Go meta against that.
One of those things where the Max is so good in terms of his prep for games, but I guess it's one of those things. TaToH's proved the exact same thing just time and time again. He's also got the weird strategy. He's kind of thought about the matchup a lot. So I guess if that's going to kind of happen, TaToH, I would say, is the person I would say most confident to go in with, to be able to either have something prepared or be able to adapt to it easily.
It was kind of weird too. Max didn't play meta in any of the games. It's like he felt like in order to beat TaToH, he needed to go a bit extreme, and it didn't pay out. Not this series. Maybe later.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll meet up again. These are two players that could definitely get deep in this tournament.
Well, that's it.
Sure.
We're only in day 2 of the group stage, essentially. None of these results are finalized, guys. There's still a lot more to come from TaToH. There's a lot more to come from the Max as well. No one is even close to out, I believe, at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, it's just been... Today's been amazing. Yesterday was amazing. Today's been amazing. Tomorrow's going to be amazing. And the day after that is going to be... amazing.
Amazing.
All the way to next Sunday. All the way to next Sunday. Let's go. Actually, make sure to support Nili, who's been putting on this tournament and has been getting like 2 hours of sleep each night. Make sure to give him all the subscribers you can, all the donations you can, everything that you can.
It's too bright, man.
Oh, no.
You tried so hard. Oh, there we go. Yes, in focus.
And... yeah, get him as much money as you can for important reasons.
For all those very, very important reasons.
I want to see those Twitch Prime subs coming in. Come on. You got an interview to do.
I do have an interview to go to. You're right.
Yeah.
So have fun, fill some time, maybe tell our hotel story. I like that one.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys in 1 second with the winner's interview with TaToH.
What a pleasure. What an absolute unit of an Australian. It's kind of hard casting with him, though. His screen is actually upside down. So it's tough for me to tell like where the units are and what elite upgrades are coming in at any given moment. I love it. But that was a sick series. That Arabia game was amazing. And the Mediterranean game, I'm so impressed by TaToH deciding to go Persians, especially after he saw the performance from the Max against Yo. I don't know what I'm looking at right now. Is it still me? It's black screen. Overlay guy has me on black screen. I can't even read chat. Yeah. See? Now I can. All right. So they're just getting in for the interviews right now. Hotel story can wait till another day. I think that's a story for like 5 days from now. Dave, you're amazing. No, you're amazing. Or no, you're breathtaking. Let's get Vsauce back in the action here so I can actually read. What did you guys think of today? I thought it was pretty good. We had a bunch of great games, like Viper versus Liereyy. The Hera games are amazing. Even the DauT games, like we had some great showings there. And then this last set, I think this last set was, even though it was 3-0, it was great. It was fantastic. And Turk, that was the first time I commentated with Turk. That was great. That was so much energy. It's crazy. Sexual tension, you know, I'd say. Caster guy, overlay guy's like, what? Things are gonna get weird. All right, are they good to go on the interviews yet? Are we set up? All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. Twitch Prime.
Why is he's not bright in there?
We're here with TaToH, the winner of the set just against TheMax, 3-0. You must be feeling confident from there. Going into this, did you expect it to be a 3-0? Max is a strong competitor. How confident were you in this series that you would take it?
Well, I was not expecting 3-0 for sure because we are like even level. So I was confident, like because I have the last set I have played against him, like in ECL and in the show matches. I have always win, I think. So I was confident that I could take this serious, but obviously this is way different as well because it's tournament and it's more, let's say, like it's pretty serious. So you never know what to expect.
And I think that's one of the big things with TheMax and a lot of the Finland players even. They play a little bit different. They're happy to go outside the meta. Is there any way you kind of mix up your play style or even your scouting to actually kind of account for these weird strategies and weird plays they have?
Yeah, like as I said, like you should scout way more against them even because they usually are not going for the meta, or if they do, they always have something on like plan B, let's say. So yeah, basically, like scouting takes big part more against the guys that prepare.
Yeah, so moving into game number 1, the Arabia, just general map that we kind of start every series with. I think probably one of the more interesting things is we saw basically Eagles up in Castle Age from you. What kind of influenced this decision and what were you kind of hoping to really get from it? Because you held the ground really, really well, but we did have this longsword kind of push straight away back from TheMax. Was there a point there where you were kind of feeling a little bit stressed and dealing with it? Or was the plan just get the Eagles out, try and do some raiding, hold him back, move up into plumed archers from the castles as soon as you're ready?
Well, I knew that he was going to see to Lost Sword because that's something I actually thought about. Like I had planned like for Malians as well. Like now with supplies, Longsword becomes really strong in early Castle Age as well because you have the +5, sorry. So basically they become really, really strong and real dangerous. That's why I dropped as it was right away to make sure that he couldn't get into my base. And then as long as I had the castle up and I didn't take any damage, I should be fine.
And from there as well, we did have some pretty aggressive pushes from TheMax, a lot of those trebuchet wars. Did you kind of start to sweat a little bit when he started to take those castles down? Or were you going, look, I'm Mayans, I'll have more stone, I'll have more castles, we just need to survive and then push it back?
I was a bit scared because I was going to lose a lot of plants production. But at the same time, I knew that my eco was better because I dropped the disease right away when I reached Castle Age, and I didn't take any damage. So I just knew that I had to match my plumes and just attack somewhere else because that kill was really hard to push.
And just backing from there as well, because you have said over the last couple of days you've been feeling a little bit sick, a little bit off. Do you think it's kind of influenced your play here a little bit at this stage, or still feeling quite confident in the level you're putting up at the moment?
Well, I'm really happy how I'm performing. I feel a bit better in terms of headache.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, so right now I just coughing, so it's not that bad again. I think I'm just recovering. So probably tomorrow I will feel better, and probably by Tuesday I will be recovered 100%. Now DauT is who is a bit worse. So yeah, right now I'm fine.
Oh, good to hear it, man. Very glad to hear it, especially for the upcoming days we have as well. So moving into game number 2, we had a Mediterranean pick, Mirror Persians as well. Were you expecting the Persian pick from TheMax as well? I know he's kind of given it away that this is kind of the build, especially from the Finns, that we do see a lot. Was it an expectation? You decided just to go with the Mirror for it?
I knew that he was going for Persian because I played against him 3 weeks ago, and he played as well Persian, and I played Italians that time.
Gotcha.
So I knew that he was his plan. Also, yesterday he played Persian against Mr. Joe. So I wanted to mirror this time because I feel like Persian is really, really good. And as long as you have a proper build order and opening, you should be more or less like at least fighting for the game. And yeah, this game, I was a bit scared when we fought with the scout, because if I lose the scout there, I will be super behind.
Which brings us to the next part, that TheMax lost his scout. Did that give you some confidence?
Well, I was pretty happy when he lost the scout. Pretty confident, because losing the scout is huge there. And I think that's the reason why he can't forward. Otherwise, probably his strategy was not coming forward.
Yeah.
So I think he expected me to do like, now he was blind and he came forward. He was a bit, well, not lucky because... but I think he didn't gather enough information to know that my both stones were together. But still, he came that, and he actually was. If I didn't see the villagers coming, I would have struggled way more.
Absolutely. Were you kind of surprised he gave up the water as well entirely, just to give you this big fishing boom off the back of it? Is it in his situation? What would you kind of have done to really mitigate that ad?
I'm not sure if he was, because he only drove one tower, so I'm not sure if he was tower rushing or what was his approach. Because I only saw one tower.
Yep.
So if I saw the second tower, I would be quite surprised that he was going for water, because then you don't have gold. Or if you have 2 mining camps, then you have invest a lot into that push or that strategy. And if it doesn't work out, you will be super behind. And then I just needed to hold the water and be like, I knew that from Feudal, I knew that I was really, really ahead.
Yeah, you got yourself into a really good position there. The big thing we were kind of watching for with TheMax, you did have this kind of secret little base going on behind you. Do you think if you waited a little bit later, it could have had a little bit more effect, or any difference in terms of the play there you could have foreseen going? Or do you think you would have been relatively on top of it even if you had 4 or 5 knights kind of pop out?
The thing is that he is on the countdown, let's say, because every minute that it passes, I have more villagers, so my economy is stronger than his. So if he wastes too much, I think I will have... Maybe he will have killed 3-4 villagers, but I will have more resources gathered to defend. So I think the timing was good. I was actually struggling on wood, but yeah, I was totally fine because of the fish. If I didn't have fish, so behind that attack, he went for water as well, like with the sneak talks, I will probably struggle way too much.
Yeah, we saw the eco difference there at the end of the game when we were going through the statistics, and it just gave you so many options in terms of your economy, and you just had so much of every resource kind of in the bank in terms of the comparison. So moving into basically the next map overall, are you comfortable with it? Because I know it's one of those maps that kind of comes out for tournaments every now and then. How do you feel about playing it?
Golden Pit, you mean?
Yes.
Golden Pit is interesting for sure. We have not played that many tournaments with that map, because usually it's Gold Runs instead of Golden Pit.
Absolutely.
So this one is interesting for sure because it is on the crater. So the way to play this map is different. Also, you have more gold. Slightly more gold, so you can kind of make a huge, let's say, 1 push army, gold army, at least for once. So, yeah, I like that map. It's interesting, but it's actually as well too easy to wall most of the time. So it will turn, like there will not be too many feudal aggression. So I knew that Malians, okay, I will go Dras FC. I was expecting him to pick Mayans, not Slavs. So I was surprised by his pick, but I was happy with that pick as well.
That's nice. Did you give yourself a little bit of a, yes, when you saw you had that little bit of missing wall?
Yeah. Well, I was surprised that he missed that one, but it happens, obviously. And, well, I couldn't make any damage at all because he reacts quite good. I should have taken one village at least, but I miss micro there. But he reacts really good, and he actually walled my scout there, and I actually lack a lot of scouting because of that.
So we saw the Max kind of move down and take position in the gold quite early on. Do you think it's a good idea to take the gold that early and try and secure it? Or do you think it's one of those things where you take the position and then it's on the other player with their gold essentially to try and make the push down? Do you think you're at a disadvantage if you're the first one to kind of push down onto the gold, especially that early?
I don't think so in this case because he had also the aggression on the map because he had the Six Wars of a Monastery. I feel like I guess the reason why he went for the melee is because if you gather that gold, then you have your own goal in case you lose the center. So I guess that's kind of the reasoning, but it's true. Like if you lose the goal in the center, probably you have lost the game. So no, I know. It depends on how, because the center as well is not too far. So I guess it depends on the plan. He wanted to go for boyars, and boyars are quite expensive. So I understood his movement there.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, congratulations on your win. Still undefeated at NAC 3, so congratulations. I know we're day 2, but we'll take that celebration anyway. Hope you just continue to feel a lot better as well, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you, Turkman.